Well, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Whitburn.
Here.
Commissioner Willis.
Here.
Commissioner Becker. Present. Commissioner Anderson. Absent. Commissioner Aguirre. Here. Commissioner White.
Present.
Commissioner McKenzie. Here. Alternate Commissioner Von Wilpert is absent. Alternate Commissioner Drake.
Here.
Alternate Commissioner McCann.
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Montgomery Stepp is absent. Alternate Commissioner Browning. Here. Alternate Commissioner Browning will vote in place of the regular member vacancy. There is a quorum with seven voting members present, and the meeting was called to order at 8:17 a.m.
Thank you, Clerk. Commissioner Browning, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome a new LAFCO Commissioner, San Diego County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre. She previously served as Imperial Beach Mayor and City Council member and is known for her work on coastal conservation and cross-border pollution issues. Welcome to the Commission. We would also like to thank Supervisor Jim Desmond for his years as serving as a LAFCO Commissioner. That service included 2 terms as Commission Chair. Let's begin with a review of today's agenda. Mr. Simons, is there anything you'd like to touch on?
Thank you, Chair. So no changes to the agenda itself, Commission. All the items that we posted in the publication last week is held. I do want to note that on the dais itself, you should have 2 items of supplemental correspondence that staff will address as the item up. One is on item 6C, that's the Valiano project, and then another quick supplemental on item 7A, which is for the audit. Other than that, we are good to go, Chair.
Thank you. Let's take non-agenda public comment. This provides an opportunity for anyone who'd like to comment on something that is not on today's agenda, but is within the purview of LAFCO. I do not have any non-agenda public comment speaker slips here in the room, so let's check in with the clerk and see if there's any virtual public comment for us this morning.
No public comment.
Thank you, clerk. Let's take up the consent items, which are items 5A through 5I. Do we have any public comment on the consent item?
None.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
So.
All right. We have a motion from Commissioner McKenzie, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Any discussion on the consent items? Seeing no discussion on the consent items, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Whitburn.
Yes.
Commissioner Willis.
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie. Yeah. Commissioner White.
Yes.
Commissioner Becker. Yes. Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Aguirre. Yes. Commissioner Browning. Yes. So there are 8 in favor, 0 opposed. The motion passes.
Thank you. That brings us to our public hearing items. Item 6A is the appointment of a public member and other possible actions. I believe that Priscilla Mumpower is going to be introducing this item for us this morning.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and good morning, Commissioners. Priscilla Mumpower, Assistant Executive Officer, presenting on behalf of staff. Today's item is for the Commission to revisit its consideration of an appointment to fill the vacant regular public member seat. The term for this position extends through April of 2029. The item returns to the agenda at the request of Vice Chair Willis in order to revisit a motion that stalled out at your Commission's June 2nd meeting. At that time, the motion did not receive an affirmative vote from each of the 4 categories represented on the Commission as required. With that, I'll pause here and defer to Vice Chair Willis for further specifics while remaining available to answer any questions the Commission may have. Thank you.
Yeah, just after the last visit, I mean, that didn't quite go like I would have liked to have seen it. And I can see the wisdom and Supervisor Anderson by putting forth the slate as could go. So I'd like to revisit that and submit the slate of Richard Brown as Commissioner and Eileen Delaney as substitute.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, that is the motion from Vice Chair Willis. It has been seconded by Commissioner Becker. Before we go to discussion on the item, let's see if there is public comment on this item, and we do have two slits here in chambers, and we will begin public comment with Michelle Crew.
I apologize.
We're gonna get you a mic.
I know. I was gonna feel for it. Good morning.
Morning. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. I really have a good outside voice. You want me to do it without? I don't mind.
Your outside voice, yes.
Okay. Hey, the kid from Brooklyn. I know how to yell. Good morning. I just want to thank you for the thoughtfulness of putting Bridget Browning on as a full commissioner. Bridget is thoughtful, centered, steadfast, and definitely tries to understand all perspectives of things and come up with a win-win solution and situation. So I really appreciate having her voice permanently on this commission. So this is just a thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Crew.
And I want to welcome Paloma Aguirre to this commission.
We have another comment here from Alicia Morrison.
I don't have an outside voice, so.
I think you'll be good. So just for the record, we do have a mic boom right in the middle. So long as you can, vocals can reach that point, we're good.
Good morning, Commission. Alicia Morrison, as stated for the record. As a general member of the public, this is a very important because it falls under your policy A109. I am glad to see this because it is to fill the vacant regular public member position because state law prescribes this membership shall be composed of 13 members. I am in support of alternative action 1. Currently serving as alternate public member, this puts Bridget Browning in a familiar position to fill the vacant public member seat. And she meets the item 1 of goals and priorities of policy A109. Having government planning and land use experience, the other public service, Eileen Delaney would be a great asset and young member to this commission to fill the seat as alternate person. G2 meets item 1 of the goals and priorities of policy A109. I would like to support Bridget Browning as public member, as the incorporated member, and Eileen Delaney as the alternate public member, as the unincorporated member. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morrison. Do we have any virtual public comment?
No public comment.
Okay. We will open it up to commission discussion then. Again, the motion in front of us is to appoint Bridget Browning to the public member regular seat and Eileen Delaney to the public member alternate seat. And we will begin our discussion with Commissioner Aguirre.
Thank you, Chair. I want to just associate myself with what's been said regarding Ms. Browning. I know she has extensive knowledge of land use as well. From my role at the Coastal Commission, she was very engaged in a lot of issues related to land use. But I think most importantly, her plus 20 years plus of experience being a voice for working families is extremely important in the decisions that we make in this body. So she has my full support.
Thank you, Commissioner McGeary. Any further commission discussion of this item? If not, we'll go to a vote on the motion to appoint Bridget Browning to the public member regular seat and Eileen Delaney to the public member alternate seat. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Whitburn,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie. Yeah. Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Garrett,
Yes.
Commissioner Browning.
Yes, and but I just say thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to be serving.
Eight in favor, 0 opposed. The motion passes.
Congratulations.
Oh,
I voted.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Was the fourth one?
Well, congratulations.
Sorry.
Congratulations to Commissioner Browning and to Commissioner Delaney on your unanimous elections. We are going to pause so that we can swear in Ms. Delaney.
Eileen, come on up here. And then Commissioner Browning, we've got a seat over there for you. All right. Let's make sure that Aiden catches my good side here.
You're gonna vote today.
We'll go to the podium.
Okay.
So. With your right hand up, there we go. Do you, Eileen Delaney, solemnly affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, State of California, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the Commissioner with the San Diego County Local Agency Formation Commission. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we have a seat for you up here.
Thank you very much.
We'll just make it official with a pen.
Make sure she gets a donut.
So,
Make sure you get a donut.
Oh, a donut.
I'm sorry. This is.
We're gonna have you sign right here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. We've got a couple more public hearing items. Item 6B is the proposed Nakano Development Project Reorganization. We also have item 6C, which is the proposed Valiano Eden Hills LLC project. If any of the commissioners have any ex parte communications that they would like to disclose on either of those items, please do so at the appropriate time. We'll begin with item 6B. Again, that's the proposed project reorganization. We will turn it over to staff to present the item.
Oh, good morning, Chair Whitburn and Commissioners, and Field Leaders and Analysts too, for the record. So the proposal before you has been in the queue for some time and was initiated by resolution of the City of San Diego as part of a negotiated boundary change with the City of Chula Vista and backed by an official annexation agreement with both cities and the developer Tri-Point Homes, which designates San Diego as the appropriate capable service provider for the affected territory. The proposed reorganization involves the annexation of approximately 23.8 acres land to the City of San Diego with concurrent detachments from the City of Chula Vista and Otay Water District, along with conforming sphere of influence amendments. The reorganization's purpose is to facilitate a planned 221 unit residential subdivision including 22 designated affordable housing units with a mix of condominiums, duplexes, and townhomes, consistent with the land use policies of both Chula Vista and San Diego. The project has been entitled by both municipalities, with San Diego identified as the preferred service provider going forward due to Chula Vista's access limitations. Notably, all access points for the proposed development are located within the city of San Diego. So as shown on the screen and then circled in yellow, the subject parcel is immediately adjacent to the city of San Diego's boundary and just outside its existing sphere of influence designation, currently within the city of Chula Vista's boundary and sphere. As for some key considerations and qualifiers, LAFCO staff has independently confirmed that the city of San Diego can readily serve the proposed development and more effectively provide core municipal services, including water, wastewater, fire, and emergency services, without any significant impacts immediately upon annexation. LAFCO staff's analysis and otherwise certainty in service impacts also leads staff to believe it would be appropriate for the commission to proceed without a new municipal service review to inform the sphere amendment to San Diego that would otherwise be required under policy L106. Given the limited scope of service impacts associated with the expansion paired with the elevated level of review performed as part of the project approval process by Chula Vista and San Diego. So this brings us to a set of recommendations for the proposal, which are summarized on the screen with 4 headline groupings. So the first is a recommendation to approve the reorganization proposal to detach the affected territory from the city of Chula Vista and Otay Water District and annex to the city of San Diego, along with conforming sphere amendments for all 3 agencies. Second is a recommendation to waive protest proceedings under Government Code Section 5666B. And third, a recommendation to waive policy L106 due to the limited scope of sphere amendments paired with the elevated level of review performed as part of the project approval process by the cities. And fourth, adopt the findings of the EIR as responsible agency and find the project exempt under CEQA for the sphere of influence amendments. So this concludes my presentation, and I welcome any questions or comments from the commission. We are also joined today by the Southwest Strategies team, Tiffany Meddy. We have the Senior Director of Public Affairs, and Tri-Point Homes Representative Alan Pashani, the Senior Project Manager. Have any questions?
Thank you. Clerk, do we have any public comment on this side?
No public comment.
All right. With that, then we will begin our commission discussion on this item and entertain a motion. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion on the recommendation.
All right, we have a motion from Vice Chair Willis to adopt the staff recommendation.
I'll second that.
We have a second from Commissioner Becker. Is there any further discussion on the motion? And we'll go to Commissioner McCann.
Thank you very much. As the mayor of the city of Chula Vista, Tri-Point had worked with us for a while. And this again made the best sense for being able to serve the residents. It really is in the city of San Diego's area, not ours. And we fully support this annexation into the city of San Diego.
Thank you, Commissioner McCann. Any further discussion from the commission? Seeing none, the motion on the floor is to adopt a staff recommendation. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Woodburn,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie, yes. Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Gearing,
Yes.
Commissioner Browning,
Yes.
8 in favor, 0 opposed, the motion passes.
Thank you, Clerk. Item C is the proposed Valiano Eden Hills LLC project. Do we have any ex parte communications from commissioners on this project? Commissioner White?
Yeah, I spoke to Chris Brown about this.
Okay, we have that. Any other, Commissioner Drake?
Yeah, so Chris Brown as well.
All right.
Make it a triple.
All right.
Chris Brown.
All right.
I second it.
Chris Brown's doing his job, man.
All right, so we also heard from Vice Chair Willis. We heard from Commissioner Becker. All right, seeing no further ex parte communications on this item, we will ask staff to present the item.
Thank you, Chair. Before I get us started, I just wanted to offer a couple of comments of context. One of which ties directly to a supplemental piece of correspondence you all have before you from the general manager of Rincon Del Diablo, that's Blaze, Bays, excuse me. And so the context is this, for those commissioners who have been with us for a while, this part of the world, this Harmony Grove, Eden Hills part of the world has been an interesting eye raiser for San Diego LAFCO on a couple of fronts. For those who will recall, many years ago, this entire area was placed inside the city of Escondido sphere of influence, right? And so that was the commission's policy direction and certainly expectation that at some future point, this entire area of Harmony Grove would eventually be annexed and served by the city of Escondido. And that was the thought back in 2008 or 9 when the first of many developments were proposed for this area. And initially, this area was going to be developed first with the South Harmony Grove development as part of an annexation in Escondido. Well, local circumstances and things changed. One of which was the county proceeded to want to make sure that this area was developed under the county's land use authority. And so it went ahead and built a brand new wastewater treatment plant, a plant that Rincon eventually took over. And there had been some expectations back and forth about who eventually would be the ultimate wastewater service provider for this area. As you listen to Michaela's presentation, keep in mind that context, and perhaps what I can do is at the end of Michaela's presentation, be available specifically because I've talked to Clint, I've talked to City of Escondido, and I can go over this letter that you have before you and what it means to the request before you. So that's the context. Michaela, thank you, and go ahead.
Testing. Good morning again, Michaela Peters, Analyst 2 for the record. So the item before you is the first of 2 requested approvals associated with the planned 243 unit Valiano residential development near the unincorporated community of Harmony Grove. The first request submitted by the city of Escondido on behalf of an interested landowner is for the authorization to provide out-of-agency wastewater services to 13 legal parcels totaling approximately 239 acres. The second request, which the commission will consider at a future meeting, involves a jurisdictional reorganization affecting approximately 10 acres. Specifically, this includes detachment from the Rancho Santa Fe Fire Protection District and annexation into the San Marcos Fire Protection District. So with that background, I'll begin by presenting staff's analysis of Escondido's request for an out-of-agency service agreement accompanied by conforming sphere of influence amendments. So to fulfill this request, LAFCO must evaluate 3 core and sequential policy considerations. 1, determining the need for service. 2, assessing the availability of infrastructure. And 3, identifying the most appropriate method of service delivery, whether through annexation or out-of-agency service agreement. So in this case, the evaluation also includes determining whether a sphere of influence amendment or a public health and safety finding is the most appropriate mechanism for addressing the portion of the project area that currently lies outside City of Escondido sphere. So when it comes to how service is extended, annexation is generally preferred under LAFCO policy. However, in this case, staff recommends approval of an out-of-agency service agreement, and given the project site is not contiguous to Escondido's existing city limits. So as shown on the screen, the gray areas represents Escondido's jurisdictional boundary, while the cross-hatched areas denotes the project site. A contiguous annexation would require altering about 15 neighboring parcels, roughly 19 acres, with no indication of support from the neighboring landowners. Given these conditions, staff believes approving the out-of-agency service agreement is the most effective and appropriate means of extending wastewater service to the affected territory. The commission must also determine how best to address the portion of the project area outside of City of Escondido's current sphere of influence. The commission has 2 options: make a public health and safety finding or amend the sphere to include the remaining portion. So as displayed on the screen, the parcels are situated between the cities of Escondido and San Marcos. Approximately 2/3 of the affected territory is already within Escondido's sphere, while the remaining 1/3 is within the sphere of San Marcos. To proceed with service delivery, a sphere of influence amendment is required, specifically to remove the parcels shown in red from San Marcos's sphere and incorporate them into Escondido's. Staff recommends amending the sphere. This approach is more consistent with LAFCO's statutory mandate and policy expectations that areas receiving municipal services should ultimately be annexed into the service provider's jurisdiction. So that said, should the commission prefer not to amend the sphere, staff believes there is still sufficient documentation to justify a public health and safety finding as an alternative. Turning to the adequacy of service. So the city of Escondido and the landowner have a signed agreement in place to provide wastewater service to the entire project site. The city would extend service via a 2,700-foot lateral connection to its existing infrastructure. The Valiano development is projected to generate approximately 60,000 gallons per day, which represents just 1.4% of the city's current treatment capacity, indicating ample capacity is available. Relatedly, during the administrative review, Rincon del Diablo Municipal Water District submitted a letter stating that they also have capacity to serve the site. However, staff supports Escondido as the more appropriate and logical provider, given the majority of the project area already lies within its sphere. So this recommendation aligns with LAFCO's policy objectives, supporting long-term efficiency, coordinated service delivery, and eventual annexation into the city of Escondido. Lastly, assuming the commission approves this request today, the resulting service arrangement may be revisited in the upcoming governance study identified in the Escondido MSR completed in 2022. This study could also address potential retail recycled water planning and delivery in the region. So in summary, Escondido has the capacity, proximity, and policy alignment to provide wastewater service to the site. And due to the geographic and jurisdictional complexities, an out-of-agency service agreement is the most effective delivery method, and staff recommends expanding Escondido's sphere of influence to cover the full site, supporting long-term annexation goals and more coordinated service structure. So based on this information, staff recommends that the commission take the following actions. 1, to approve the out-of-agency wastewater service authorization between the city of Escondido and the landowner. Approve the conforming sphere of influence amendments to the cities of Escondido and San Marcos, and authorize the executive officer to waive policy L106 and the requirement of 1 or more new municipal service reviews to inform the conforming sphere amendments and file CEQA documentation consistent with the findings presented. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions, and I'll go ahead and pass it back to the chair.
Thank you. Clerk, do we have any public comment on this item?
No public comment.
Thank you. With that, we will open it up to commission discussion and a motion, and we'll begin with Commissioner Drake.
Thank you very much. I think that one thing we should let you know is that Rincon del Diablo approves the concept of the staff recommendation, but there is a nuance. And the nuance is, if you look on page 294, I'll give you a second to look for it, you'll see the project estimation, which back 10 years ago was about $1.5 million. That cost today would be close to $15 million, which will add about $100,000 to $200,000 to the expense of every home that's built. There is a technical alternative. I think we want to extend that technical opportunity to the city if they want to do it. This particular proposal proposes 2,700 feet of piping and a new lift station and other accoutrements. We can do this for 180 feet of pipe, and Mayor White and I can dig that in an afternoon if we wanted to. And you put that pipe in, it's a gravity feed, and we're done. And so that expense would be something more like 50 or 100 grand versus 15 million. And in a world where housing is expensive and difficult, we want to extend that offer to the city and let them know that we already have a history, shared assets, responsibilities, exchange years, piping that we already have. And in fact, we provide the water numbers that they use for filling the sewer. So a lot of these things are already highly cooperative. We just want to extend that operation. So if the mayor wants to do something different, we would glad to support. And that's my bit.
Thank you, Commissioner Drake. Further discussion on this item? Seeing no further discussion, I will make a motion to approve the staff recommendation.
I'll second that.
We have a second from Commissioner White. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion on the floor is to approve the staff recommendation. Clerk, please call the roll.
I just want to be sure that we follow up with his concerns, that we follow up. A holistic approach. Tina, did you have on this discussion?
Yes, and it's been an ongoing discussion, and as Michaela referenced in her presentation, we view the best way to kind of look at this with a more macro set of eyes as part of a future governance study. That's something that has been on the back burner at LAFCO for a while, and something that we've been at staff discussing with Commissioner Drake and Commissioner White, and we will certainly revisit and perhaps highlight as part of our next update on the work plan for the commission's benefit, and perhaps additional discussion.
I just want to make sure we're addressing that, Mr. Davis. Thank you.
Okay, the motion on the floor is to adopt staff recommendation. Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Whitburn?
Yes.
Commissioner Willis?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie? Yep. Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson? Commissioner Geary?
Yes.
Commissioner Browning?
Yes.
They're 8 in favor, 0 opposed, the motion passes.
Thank you. Let's move on to our business calendar. Item 7A is the outside audit report on fiscal year 2022-24, and we'll hear the presentation on the item.
Thank you, Chair. So I will go ahead and cover this item with apologies, Commission, that this did not make it to your agenda at the last meeting, but nonetheless, it is good news. So you have an audit report from Michael O'Connor and Associates out of the Bay Area that's taking a look at our financial statements we issued for fiscal year 24. And bottom line, Commission, it is all good. And in particular, you have a clean audit letter saying or affirming that there are no material weaknesses with respect to information provided and documented. The fund balance has gone up by about 6%, so we're about $1.7 million right now, which is certainly good. And then last but not least, for the first time in a couple of years, we have no recommendations from the outside auditor, meaning that we have addressed prior recommendations, and we have finally gotten to the point where they haven't found anything else to talk about with us in our accounting procedure. So thank you to Erica for that. And then just for the benefit of some context, all of you should have a printout that shows the LAFCO fund balance, spendable and unrestricted over the last 10 years. And again, credit to Erica and her predecessors for keeping us on a rather positive streak, as we have been very mindful to make sure that the resources we have, we don't overspend, and we have them available for other public serving benefits. So that context said, this item is for the commission to formally accept on the record, but I am also ready to answer questions as the commission sees fit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No public comment.
Thank you. Is there any commission discussion on the item?
Just one question. What are our reserves? Where are we using?
So we're pretty simple. We're one fund type of agency. So the fund balance of 1.7 is your spendable reserve balance. Now, at the next meeting, you will, as you do every year, you will designate some discretionary commitments and or assignments, but that 1.7 is yours to buffer and or seek out some enhancements as you see fit.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair Willis. Commissioner Aguirre? Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Aguirre to accept and file the report. We have a second from Commissioner White. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Whitburn?
Yes.
Commissioner Willis?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yes.
Commissioner White? Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson? Commissioner Geary?
Yes.
Commissioner Browning? 8 in favor, 0 opposed, the motion passes.
Thank you. Item 7B is the proposed 450 and 452 Bear Valley Parkway out of agency wastewater services. And we'll ask staff to present the same.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners, Analyst 1 Megan Trainor for the record on behalf of staff. And the item before you is a request received from a landowner seeking authorization to receive wastewater services from the city of Escondido to a single unincorporated parcel located entirely within Escondido's sphere of influence. The parcel in question is approximately 0.6 acres in size and is currently developed with 2 single-family residences, each assigned its own street address at 450 and 452 Bear Valley Parkway. This request relates to a prior administrative approval granted by the executive officer in August of 2021, authorizing a wastewater connection to the original single-family residence at 450 Bear Valley Parkway due to a failed septic system and related public health threats. And the current request seeks to authorize out-of-agency wastewater services to a new second single-family residence at 452 Bear Valley Parkway, and in doing so, facilitate a pending Senate Bill 9 lot split, tentatively approved by the County of San Diego. The proposal is being brought before you to preserve the Commission's role in approving Senate Bill 9 lot splits. And there are 3 central policy considerations to guide your review. 1, is out-of-agency service preferable to annexation? 2, is adequate capacity and infrastructure available? And 3, are there any discretionary terms or conditions appropriate? And as for our analysis, and as detailed in the agenda report, staff believes that the Commission can affirmatively address all 3 policy considerations. Specifically, while annexations are the preferred method under LAFCO law, local conditions do justify an out-of-agency service extension as the most efficient means to deliver services. This is related to the city of Escondido's preference to defer annexation until outstanding road maintenance responsibilities along Bear Valley Parkway adjacent to the city of Escondido are resolved with the County of San Diego. And this is a topic expected to be addressed as part of the city of Escondido's upcoming general plan update. Regarding Escondido's capacity to serve the parcel, wastewater service is readily available. The maximum projected demand of 750 gallons per day is well within Escondido's system capacity, representing just 0.016% of unused capacity. And lastly, with regards to any terms and conditions, staff recommend conditionally approving the agreement to accommodate the newly constructed single-family residence, as well as an allowance for 2 additional accessory dwelling units subject to standard terms. Although it is common practice to require future annexation filing, staff believes that this condition is not appropriate due to the city of Escondido's concerns about assuming spot road maintenance for a portion of Bear Valley Parkway. Based on this information, staff recommend that the Commission take the following action. 1, approve the out-of-agency wastewater service authorization between the city of Escondido and the landowners, as well as related service allowances to allow 2 future accessory dwelling units for both single-family residences, or 1 for each single-family residence. And authorize the executive officer to file a notice of exemption under CEQA guidelines 15268, since CEQA does not apply to ministerial actions consistent with SB 9 legislation. That concludes my presentation. I'm welcome to any questions from the Commission.
Thank you. Clerk, do we have any public comment on this item?
No public comment.
All right, we will open it up to Commission discussion and motion on the item. And we'll begin with Commissioner White.
I move to approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner White, a second from Vice Chair Willis. Is there any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Whitburn?
Yes.
Commissioner Willis?
Yes.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Yeah.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes, and I also just wanted to thank our staff analysts for presenting in such a logical manner that all of us can understand. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
On.
Commissioner Garrett? Yes. Commissioner Browning? There are 8 in favor, 0 opposed. The motion passes.
Clerk, item 7C is an informational update on the municipal service review on the San Diego Association of Governments. And we will ask, I believe we'll ask staff to present the item. Go ahead.
Morning again, Commissioners. Analyst 1 Megan Trainor for the record. The item before you is an update on the progress of San Diego LAFCO's municipal service review on SANDAG. The Sandag MSR is priority number 3 on LAFCO's FY 25 to 26 work plan, and it builds upon a prior special study completed in June of 2024 by consultant Bill Fulton, explaining how different agencies shape the development of transportation patterns in San Diego County. And LAFCO's statutory direction in conducting this MSR derives from 2 sections in the Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg Act. One is section 56378 on special studies, which outlines LAFCO's ability to conduct special studies on existing governmental agencies, and section 56340 on municipal service reviews. And LAFCO's review of Sandag's provision of municipal services, including transportation planning and construction, as well as housing and climate adaptation planning, is the first of its kind and is a hybrid between an MSR and a special study with an emphasis on Sandag's planning and construction responsibilities. And this MSR is a beneficial opportunity for San Diego LAFCO to familiarize itself with Sandag and vice versa, given that San Diego LAFCO is required under statute to consider Sandag's regional transportation plans in our proposal work. And likewise, Sandag metropolitan planning organizations like Sandag are required to consider LAFCO spheres of influence when drafting their sustainable community strategies, directing long-term regional growth. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our consultant, Bill Fulton, who is LAFCO's consultant completing section 6 of the MSR on reviewing Sandag's transportation, housing, and climate adaptation functions.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, commissioners. Bill Fulton, I'm the consultant to LAFCO on this project. Just a little bit about the scope of the project. As you probably know, Sandag forms an unusually wide range of regional functions. Compared to other regional agencies such as SCAG or MTC in the Bay Area, thanks to the structure created by 2 laws. That should be SB 1703 by Senator Peace. He, of course, has been around for a while. Remember, he was a senator, not a member of the Assembly. And AB 805 by Assemblywoman Gonzalez in 2017. The LAFCO MSR focuses on 3 functions: transportation, including design and construction, housing, and climate adaptation. It's a critical time for Sandag. They have new leadership. The new draft regional plan has just been released. And as I pointed out earlier, just a minute ago, Sandag does have an unusually wide range of responsibilities. It administers Transnet, which is the half-cent sales tax for transportation that we all pay. And it also, unusual for a regional planning agency, is responsible for all design and construction of regional transportation projects. The MSR will track the progress of the Transnet projects. You'll recall that Transnet was originally created in 1988, and then in 2004, voters approved a 40-year extension from 2008 to 2048 with a very specific set of projects in it. We've met 8 times with Sandag during this process, so that's been a pretty successful. I will say we have reached out and spoken to all the other major regional planning agencies in the state, SCAG in LA, the MTC in the Bay Area, and SACOG in Sacramento. Everyone's been very supportive and helpful. Sandag has provided us with a great deal of valuable information and assistance, and a complete draft report is expected in 2026. I can't remember whether there's another slide or not. Yes, there is, isn't there? Isn't there, Mr. Executive Officer? There's one more slide. Areas of emphasis that we're focused on are evaluation of Sandag's methods for tracking and reporting 2 aspects of performance. One of the things we want that LAFCO wants to do is to ensure that Sandag is tracking and reporting sufficiently. There are a variety of tracking mechanisms they use. We will look at what we call both outcomes and outputs. Outputs are basically, did you build the project? Outcomes are, well, how has that affected or changed the way people live their lives in San Diego, such as vehicle miles traveled, congestion relief, et cetera. So I believe I've been working on section 6, which is the section we've been discussing, but I'm working collaboratively with the LAFCO staff to generate an administrative review, which will then go to Sandag for their own review. And eventually, I think, Mr. Executive Officer, will come to the commission probably in the spring. So with that, I will turn it back over to the chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fulton. Clerk, do we have any public comment on this?
No public comment.
All right. Let's go ahead and open this up for commission, just an informational item, so no motion is necessary, and we'll begin with Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you very much. As we're doing this, two areas that I'd be very curious about, and I'm not sure if it's in the scope of the work that you're doing, is we have Sandag has a problem with tolling service. I believe it's the same tolling service that administers I-15, and yet the 125 was having all sorts of problems, and I-15 doesn't seem to have a problem. So I think that in the scope would be very, very interesting. The second issue is, while we all passed the transient tax, I would be interested if we were able to look over the last decade, the distribution of money and how it's been applied. Over 500,000 people live in the unincorporated, and I think I can name all the projects with less than one hand. And when you're thinking about, if you looked at the unincorporated as a city, it'd be the second largest. We have some communities like Lakeside that's larger than many of the cities that have a vote, and yet the unincorporated doesn't have a vote. So I'd be very curious to see, because we've consistently, I've been serving on Sandag, we've consistently heard that we need more bus service, free bus service in areas that have bus service. Many parts of my district where the household income is less than $50,000 have zero to no bus service. There are portions of my district that during COVID, they couldn't meet in person and they didn't have internet. So there were no planning board meetings because their communities were denied government. And I think that having the scope look at the distribution of money and the equity in which it's presented, I think it'll be stunning what the results are, that some of the richest communities have received the largesse of the money, while poorer communities, my colleague, Supervisor Gary, represents the poorest district. I represent the second poorest. And when you think in terms of a community like Potrero, where the average household income is $37,000, every 105th resident is a sexually violent predator. We need to really look at, if we want to move forward as a region, Sandag's power is having matching funds. 500,000 people will never vote for a bond in the future if we don't see any of the benefit of it. So many things were promised through Transnet, none of them were delivered. And I'd like, if it's correct in the scope of what we're doing, I'd like to see a return on that, just so that we have a third party look at how the money's being spent. So not just finishing the project, but where are those projects?
As far as the first question, I would defer to the executive officer, as both the staff and I are working on different things. As part of the second part of the question, the Transnet ordinance that was passed by the voters in 2004 was quite specific about what the money would be spent on. And so although I'm not sure that we are doing the spatial analysis you suggest, we are looking at the extent to which the expenditure of the Transnet funds adhere to the original list of projects and what progress has been made on those projects, both highway projects and other projects.
Thank you both. Further discussion, Commissioner Delaney?
Thank you. I agree with Commissioner Anderson regarding the services relative to community needs. As he stated, there are over 500,000 residents in the unincorporated areas, and we've been sorely underrepresented. So I think the idea of, if it's in the scope of that, working towards a voting member on Sandag would be very appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Delaney. Further commission discussion on the item. This is an informational item, so no motion is necessary. Thank you very much for the update, Mr. Bolton. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Let's check and see if there are any commissioner announcements or requests for future items. Commissioner announcements or requests for future items. Seeing none, we have one closed session item this morning, and that is a conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation. I have one public speaker slip here in the room, and that is from Paula D'Souza.
Good morning, Commissioners, Chair Whitburn, Executive Officer, and the rest of the LAFCO team. My name is Paula D'Souza. I'm a partner with the law firm Best and Krieger, and I'm providing my comments on behalf of ACLJ, the Association for the City of La Jolla. With me are representatives of the ACLJ board, Diane Kane and Ed Witt. As I know my time is short, I want to hit a few items that were outlined in my July 22nd letter to your executive officer. First, ACLJ is committed to moving forward with its application for special reorganization to incorporate a new city of La Jolla. Second, ACLJ agrees with the conclusion of the certificate of sufficiency issued by your executive officer on April 29th. We agree that ACLJ's petition exceeded the minimum number of registered voter signatures required to initiate LAFCO's review and processing of ACLJ's application by submission of 6,772 valid signatures. However, the certificate of sufficiency unfortunately incorrectly states that the minimum signature requirement target was 6,750 signatures instead of the correct 6,549 signatures. And I know these are a lot of numbers, so I'm sorry about that. But 6,549 is the correct number based on statutory requirements set out in the act pursuant to which all LAFCOs operate, which requires LAFCO to determine the number of registered voters residing within the area to be incorporated as a new city as of the date that the first signature was affixed to the petition. 25% of the number of registered voters as of the date the first signature was affixed to ACLJ's petition is 6,549. This is important, and we really want to reiterate our demand that LAFCO issue an amended certificate of sufficiency that references the correct number or even references both numbers. And for that reason, again, we reiterate our demand that LAFCO amend the certificate of sufficiency. The correct number should be used because it's the correct number, and also because fixing this discrepancy would render baseless the suit the city of San Diego has initiated against LAFCO. Because in its correspondence to LAFCO and in both versions of the city's lawsuit, the city acknowledges that ACLJ submitted 6,565 valid signatures, which is 16 more than the correct number that I stated a few times earlier. A bit more on the city's suit, which I know you'll be discussing in detail shortly. The suit challenges the issuance of the certificate of sufficiency. It wants to invalidate it by challenging your executive officers statutorily granted independent authority regarding evaluation and examination of petitions related to LAFCO proceedings. The city wants to supplant this independent authority with its incorrect interpretation of the law. So again, issuing an amended certificate of sufficiency would render the city's suit baseless. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. D'Souza. Any other public comment on this item online? Okay, seeing no further public comment, we will now move into closed session. Thank you.
Okay, we're back live.
Okay, just reporting out of closed session. There was a unanimous vote, 8-0. Providing direction to staff to defend the lawsuit as identified on the agenda. And just so we button up the record clearly, that was affirmative votes to defend from Chair Whitburn, Vice Chair Willis, and Commissioners Aguirre, Anderson, Becker, McKenzie, White, and Browning.
Thank you for that report up. Seeing no further business, this meeting is adjourned.